Hi everyone, this is Daphne. I'm here again to solve a math problem for you, hoping that it helps. Today we will continue from a last video I did solving for x and y intercept, and then we use the x and y intercept to graph the line. Today we will go further by looking at a line and finding the slope of that line. So we are given a graph and we are told to find the slope of the line. And knowing that there was a video that we worked on and we named the slope of a line as m, the slope of a line is always represented as m. Now, if we have 2 points, y1, let me say we have 2 points, x1, y1, and x2, y2. The slope of a line that has these 2 points can be given by m equals y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. You can still find this slope by using m equals y1 minus y2 all over x1 minus x2. This thing is going to give you the same. But what you have to focus on here is that, look, each time I start with y2 on the top, on the bottom, I will start with x2. I can't interchange. I can't say y2 minus y1 on the top, then I go to the bottom and say x1 minus x2. It will give me the wrong answer. So this is the equation to find the slope when you have 2 points. Now let's consider that we have 2 points of this graph. Remember, this is the line that we had. The line is 2x plus 4y equals 8. And we graphed the line already by finding the intercept. Now we want to find the slope of that line. Again, from this equation, we can find the slope of the line very easily. But sometimes they don't give us the equation, they just give us the graph. Let's assume that this equation was not there. And then we have this graph and we have to find the slope of this line. The first thing is that we have to look for our 2 points. 2 points doesn't have to be the intercept, but the intercepts are always the 2 easiest points you can get. So if I'm looking at a graph like this, I will just look for where it crosses the x-axis and where it crosses the y-axis, and I'll find 2 points. But also I could look for, you're trying to look for the 2 points where you can easily state the exact values. For example, with this point 3, if I pick 3, I will have to draw a line from 3 and it will touch this line. I will try to go across, but then it will be giving me some number that I'll be struggling with it to figure out. So I will easily pick the intercept, knowing that this point is going to be 4, 0, and this point is going to be 0, 2, 0, 2. So now I can use any of them to be x1, y1. So now I'm going to consider this to be x1, y1, and this will be x2, y2. I can change and say this is the first point and this is the second point, meaning I could say this is x1, y1. It will give me the same answer. But that being said, we are using the point 4, 0 and 0, 2. So the slope of this line that we have up here is going to be, this here is y2. Let's see, this is y2, x2, I'm sorry, x2, y2. And this one here is x1, y1. So now I'm going to do y2. Remember, this is our formula. y2 minus y1. y2 is 0. 0 minus y1 is 2. All over divided by x2 minus x1. x2 is 4 minus x1 is 0. What does this give me? I have 0 minus 2 is negative 2. All over 4 minus 0 is 4. And I can see that this will give me negative half. So the slope of this line is negative half. The slope of this line is negative half. So that is how we can calculate the slope of a line given the line. Let's do another example. Let's consider that we have a line. I'm going to remove all these papers because they are bleeding. So I'm going to draw another line. Just an imaginary line. This is X. This is Y. And I'm going to do 1, 2. 1, 2. Minus 1, minus 2. So let's take, for instance, I have a line that passes through these 2 points. And I will try to link this. This is just an imaginary line. Okay, let's take, for instance, I have a line like that, and I'm told to calculate the slope of that line. The first thing I have to do is I can easily notice that I have this point here that is an intercept, meaning the value of x here is 0. This is 0, 2. 0, 2. What is the value of y here is 0. This point here is negative 1, 0. So I can use those as 2 points in my graph. But also, let me not make it seem like every time they give you a line, you clearly see the intercept. I'll do a third one that doesn't have the intercept. So with these points, I can pick any of them to be the first point, x1, y1. So my M is going to be, if I take this as the first point, x1, y1, and this is x2, y2, my equation for the slope is y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. So if this is x, this is the second point, y2 is 2. So I will have 2 minus y1 is 0 all over x2 is 0. 0 minus x1 is negative 1 minus 1 or negative 1. And this will give me 2 minus 0 is 2. And 0 minus minus 1. Negative negative is positive is 1. So the slope of this line is 2. So we just calculated the slope of the line to be 2. Okay, let's consider a situation where the line it's not clear. The line doesn't touch, doesn't clearly intersect. Let's say my graph is not to scale, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So let's say negative 1, negative 2. If I have a line, Okay, let me use something from a book here to make it easier for us. Let's look at this book and look at this graph that we have here. I want to calculate the slope of this line. Now, I can see here where it intercepts with the x and the y axis, but I don't want to use that. I just want to use different points. That's just to show you other ways, because I've shown you two ways, and those two ways I've used the intercept. But now I don't want to use the intercept. I want to use other points. Let me use these points that this person has clearly marked here. Why am I using that? Because I can clearly see it starts from, it is not in between. If I were to use a point, let's say 2.5, I will start struggling. 2.5, where does it touch the line? But here I can clearly see this point 3 aligns with 9, and then the point 2 aligns with 5. So our 2 points in this case are 3, 9, and 2, 5. Remember, we can take this one to be, I would take, this will be x2, y2. This is the x2, y2 point. This is the x1, y1 point. And so the slope of my line is going to be, so our points from the graph, from this graph, are, the points are 3, 3, 9, and 2, 5. And so to calculate our slope, we always write the equation down so that we don't make mistakes. y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. And this becomes 9 is y2 minus the y value here minus 5 all over x2 is 3 minus 2. And that slope will be 4 divided by 1, which is 4. And our slope is 4. Okay, I hope this helped. Have a good day. Keep learning and you'll get better. Ask questions. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you. Bye-bye.